Morning, YouTube smartasses. Mike, don't be starting on your shit either. I will I will get a whiteboard, I promise. We got a lot of season left. We're just gonna bullshit here for a little bit. I told everybody we'll start at 8:10, so we'll do the intro and all that stuff at 8:10. I'm functioning. Kenny, we're battling, my guy. We were battling. It was I don't drink that much anymore. So go back to back days is a little rough on your boy. Oh man. That is very true, John. You do have to practice. I got tons of practice in through my teens, 20s, 30s, 40s. I just took a break. I retired for a little bit. Came out of retirement. I will not be hitting it again tonight. I'll tell you that for free. All right. Good enough for government. What is up? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for joining me on Husker Hangover today as we recap the Nebraska loss to Michigan at home during the celebration of the 1995 National Championship team and Bud Crawford being the champion of the world at 168 pounds. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is, if my voice is off a little bit, me and the fellas we had a good time. It was good to see everybody. It was fun to be around just people that you don't, there's no effort in anything. We fall back into our college rhythm almost instantly, being dipshits and playing grab ass and thinking we can still run the streets like we did when we were kids. So if you have any questions about that, put them in the chat. But overall, I had great seats for the game. I got my sideline pass and was standing down there with the boys, and man, the way that game started, and my observations of it were pretty spot on. For those that didn't get the chance to see it, I did Husker Happy Hour. Kind of threw one together. We were in the weeds a bit, and I needed to get to Lincoln, so put some stuff together, just my thoughts on how things should go. The best way for things to go for Nebraska to win the game. And, outside of a couple things that I mentioned, pretty damn close. Got the game to the fourth quarter, down a score early in the fourth quarter on a technicality. But it's. I think you see the two levels. Okay, you see the levels where Michigan is at. Michigan didn't play their best game, but that's okay because Nebraska took advantage of what Michigan did in the game. They were able to, like, man, that first drive goes and Nebraska's kind of walking the ball where it gets like chunk yardage, bigger plays, and I was like, okay, here we go. And then I totally understand everything like on the coaching staff was thinking when they got down to the fourth and I think it was 2 at the 3-yard line. The only part then that was off-putting to me in that was when we made it to that point. For us in that game, points are key. Points are a have to. I know you wanted to try to trust your offensive line. Totally get it. And it didn't work out. Ran a little shovel pass to Lindenmeyer, tried to catch him off guard. Too much penetration up front. Too many stalemates. Like, we needed to get some movement out of that to get that shovel pass play to work. Ideally, when you're running a shovel, you get an aggressive end that wants to come get the quarterback. You get a good wash down from the left tackle and the left guard. That thing just kind of gets flipped to Lindenmeyer, and he may or may not get in the end zone, but for that to operate perfectly, okay, for that to be the best thing that could have happened, the quarterback has to be a threat to keep it. Like, the quarterback has to be a threat to where we're almost, hey, I got to stay home and respect the quarterback because he could pump this thing, take off around me, and then he scores. So that was the only thing really for me. I would love to see us have a heavier fat package, because you have some young linemen that did some nice things in your preseason games, we're just going to call them. But you put a fat package in where you get Knack in, you get Sledge in, you get those guys, and then you just tell, hey, don't care who's in front of you, we're going to truck this thing. If you got to run your own guy over, run your own guy over. You never want to do that, but sometimes you have to do that, just to kind of send a little juice through the program, through the fellas. Everybody gets excited when the fat package comes on the field. So just something maybe to think about. The second drive of the game, Nebraska gets the ball back, drive a little bit, and in position to score again. And then we missed the field goal. Probably the lowest of lights for the special teams that day. I thought special teams did a nice job on the day. But that now you're 6 points missing at worst case scenario. If the fourth down converts, you get a touchdown, and the place is going ballistic, as it should. But neither one of those came true. Then you saw Michigan kind of settle in, and they started to just punch and counterpunch, and they had all the jabs they had thrown now became hooks and crosses and stuff that was starting to land. There were times the defense I thought looked phenomenal. And then I thought there were times where the defense was trying to do, like, the players were trying to do too much instead of just staying inside the scheme, trying to do too much. Michigan, as far as like play design, did a great job of out leveraging us. And then they were physically, once they gained leverage, okay, once the leverage was attained by them, then the physicality of it, where we had spoken about the size of our defensive line, we just don't have the size of guys right now. They're in the process of still being built. Then we got to wash their scheme or their maybe not even motion, but their play design. Then they had leverage on a linebacker, and that linebacker got then washed, and so the holes then were very easy for Justice Haynes to find, and he took advantage of them. He hit him and split him. Tip of the cap to Michigan, though. Every time Nebraska was able to get something going, Michigan countered quickly. Like, they said, well, that was nice. You got this tied, you got this close. And it seemed like within the next 3 to 5 plays, they were back in the end zone from great distances. Didn't really quite comprehend how much the secondary was having trouble angles, because you're talking about a gash right up the middle. Like, right up the middle. Now, the perimeter blocking for Michigan was very good. That happened right in front of us, kind of where we were standing on the sidelines a couple times. Hand fighting or getting off blocks is something that I would probably address with the defensive backs, or maybe just aggression. We did get lucky. They ran a jet sweep pass, and Sierra was looking in the backfield, thinking he was going to have to make a play. Thank God that Michigan receiver does not have the best of hands, because that hit it literally was from me to the wall, away from it occurring. That ball hit his hands. He probably should have caught that ball. Thankfully for us, though, he did. They had another chance. He ran another little go route on stuff. That throw was just shitty. So it was what it was. Overall, though, things, you got to get cleaned up. Like, I don't really think that it was anything more than a simple check. Probably in some scout stuff. Like, once you get that lever, your linebacker, and when I mean leverage, like you're outflanked by somebody's outside of you, you have an inside gap responsibility. You get washed, linebacker behind you gets washed. The first touch is to the secondary, like of a running back. That's never a good spot to be in. So those are things Nebraska probably with some simple adjustment can fix. Offensively, like I said, when the game started, I said, "Oh shit, okay, here we go. Like, we're in our bag, we're moving it. This looks great. Here we go. We're gonna be able to walk this thing up and down the field and kind of just get into a punching match. Literally, like, to keep the bud thing going. We're gonna have a boxing match. We're gonna throw counters. You're gonna throw counters. We're gonna go on the aggressive. You're gonna go on the aggressive. He who has the ball last wins." Right. And then you saw slowly, like, Emmett's running lanes closed up. The coverage passing got a little bit tighter, and we weren't able to answer that bell. Like, we weren't able to get Lindenmeyer. Great 3rd and 22 to 4th and 1, then converted the 4th and 1. Distribution of the ball, all that kind of stuff. The Hail Mary that happened, you can't make a steady diet of that, but you executed what was needed. And again, that was from me to the outside wall from me. Like, that was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome to see. But Nebraska's resilience, I thought, in that was admirable. We are a different team. We are an evolving team, and we are far more mature than we have been in decades. And I think that's very, very safe to say. For the first time in a long time, we have a team that will get in there and scrap. They will get in there and fight. Sometimes in a fight, you're outmanned, and that's okay. But as long as you keep swinging, you just got to do what you got to do. The other thing that I took away from the game is we're sitting there watching it, and it's fun to watch games with the fellas. I got to stand with my boy Adam True, and Corey Mikes was buzzing around there. Taylor was popping in and out. Dish was there for a little bit. Dougie Coleman was there. Like football mind type guys, right? And we all like to get our opinions out, but we do it out of respect. And so the little kind of mutterings under breath were funny, because you see it and like when it's going down, you're watching it, and a couple guys like, hey, after the first time we got gashed for a long run, it's like, all right, you got to make an adjustment where once you're out levered, it's got to be a check where we get out of this, and you almost do the opposite of what you're supposed to do originally. And so sitting with the guys and talking it through and coming up with game plan and all that stuff was a riot. It was a ton of fun. Part that sucked the most was that it decided to be hotter than shit. We're all bitching about it like a bunch of babies, but yeah, it was warm down there on the field. I hadn't been down there well. I hadn't stood in one place that stagnant for quite a while, so trying to move around the field, and then there was no airflow. We probably weren't standing on the best side. We were standing in the sun, but it is what it is. We got a shout out to University of Nebraska for having us all back. We had a great time. Shout out to the rail and the bar, where we made some trips in there to relive old glory days. And drink far too much and stay out far too late for our ages and our knowledge level. We know no better than that, but we did it. Okay. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. I try to be at all costs. What I took away from the Nebraska game, the big thing. Okay. We'll talk about areas that we need to get better. We'll talk about areas that I think are at a high level in the conference. But what I took away from that instantly, almost at the end, like directly at the end of the game, I sat and I looked at it and I'm like, okay, so who remaining on Nebraska's schedule is this game going to be similar to? Okay. And Penn State is the only one. So Penn State is the only game where I'm just like, man, we're just probably going to have to play a perfect game. We're going to have to go back to all that stuff, ball control, keep it away from them, score every time we have it. Yeah. Okay, so every game on schedule, but the Penn State game is winnable for Nebraska, and many of them more than a coin toss winnable game. So our growth and our future can continue on. This isn't doom and gloom, but now, for me, I kind of want to move. I said at the beginning of the year, 8 was the number. I think 9 in your path to 10 is a lot different than it has ever been for you. So excited to see how they rebound from this. They talked the game that, hey, this one game, flush it. We're going to go on to the next. We're going to get ready. We got an off week. We're going to recoup, get back after it, and go. Great to hear. Now I got to see, though. So, my expectation for Michigan State is to come out and start fast and furious and just get after it, and just go. If we see that, now we have maturity. In the chat here, somebody had mentioned how does Sig Signetti do this at Indiana, flips them around so fast. Now they're beating, top 10 ranked teams and all those things. That it's a great question. And no rebuild is ever the same. Like no rebuild will ever be everybody can do this at the same pace or speed. If it was, we would have, some much better college football games on the weekend. There wouldn't be the blowouts that we see. There wouldn't be the haves and have-nots. So this is where we are. I don't care about Indiana. Indiana does not factor into my day. The only thing that I do with Indiana is I respect Sig Signetti because he is steadfast in principles, culture, belief, and they just go do work. Because I was all over Illinois in that game. I thought Illinois would rough them up. Piss pound them. They didn't. They got piss pounded. So that's what I know we want to be there. We are not there. I do think the situations are a little bit different. Nebraska's culture at the time was not that good. Inmates were running the asylum. Indiana's culture at the time, they just didn't care. They're a basketball school. They're going to do basketball stuff. Then you had a football guy came in, brought in a bunch of players with him, able to rebuild a lot quicker than we have been. That's fine. I will take our slow, plodding, painful path to get that. Structurally on the team, offensive line has to be better. It's got to be better. I don't know if they got too jacked up. I know the competition level became very different very fast. But you're a Division I football player. Like the things that were happening in that shouldn't have happened. And it's not one tackle or the other, it's both tackles. Then they substituted a tackle in, and I am now off of that bandwagon because that did not go well either. So the big thing that still plagues a lot of our guys up front are feet and hands. Like our quick twitch with our feet isn't where it should be. They were getting beat on moves that I think I've seen them handle in the past. I think I've seen many a time that they can do that. So maybe it's the moment where the moment gets too big and it is what it is. That then bad foot placement or feet placement leads to bad hand placement. And then you're getting guys running the corner. Michigan, the thing defensively that I really like they did is the angles on the pressures that they got from their ends were very rarely out of line. Okay, meaning when they pressured, I'll just use my non-whiteboard. Okay. So when Raiola got to the height of his drop there. So this is just in this drawing. This is where it is. This end, while making a move to beat that tackle, he was never deeper than the quarterback's deepest leg. He controlled that. So now the reverse out to scramble doesn't happen. And then these two guys in the front just walked. They just walked it back to him. So now when he's in the pocket, he wants to try to create something, which he is good at creating. He did it a couple times in the game. We did get an illegal touching late, which I'm sure they saw it on TV. I was always under the assumption that once the arm is hit or the ball is tipped, then the illegal touching is off. I was wrong, and that's evidently not the rule unless the referees didn't know the rule. But when they're able to just mush this thing together where now there's no option for him to go, that's kind of how they did it. Impressive job by their ends of being disciplined. The vast majority of the game, if out of 10 plays they did it, 9 of them, they were in the correct spot. So tip of your cap to them for what they were able to do. But line play has to be better. It should. But they probably should all be pissed. Like, I hope every single one of them is just livid this morning. And now, don't say a word about it. Go mute. Don't talk about it. Just go fix it. Go get in your bag. Get your reps in. What you're doing, like, be honest and critical of yourself, because what you're doing is similar to the things you had done in the past in your other big game, which was Cincinnati. So now get it fixed. Okay, how do you fix it? The interior 3 linemen, first look like what Nebraska offensive linemen should look like. Gaps were there, holes were easy to see and run through. Not a lot of thinking. First contacts at 6 yards. Great. Then it all stopped, and it got mucked up, and it wasn't as clean, and it wasn't as easy to see. And it's the same thing. The devil is always in the details. Footwork, hand placement. The footwork got off, the hand placement got bad, and Michigan then could use their athleticism to just make plays that those plays early that were 8-9 yard gains became 2 yard gains, 1 yard gains because of what we did. Michigan didn't do anything crazy. They just played. They played disciplined football. They played technically sound, disciplined football. They played hard-nosed, technically sound, disciplined football. It is a tale as old as time. It will win you more games than you will ever know if you can do those things. Play hard-nosed, technically sound football. That's it. They did it. We didn't. Kind of took over the game. Now, we did answer the bell. Sometimes it took us a couple rounds to answer the bell, but we answered the bell. Okay, we fought back. We did things. Like we rallied behind it. And Michigan didn't want to be in. Michigan wanted what they got at the end, where they can just grind that thing out. They take a knee after a first down inside, and they win. That's it. They didn't want, like, it wasn't a thing where they had waved the white flags like, oh, we're going to give them this score late. We earned that score. We were behind the 8 ball a couple times. We fought through it. Things that historically in the past, recent history, we haven't seen. Defensively, tackling was an issue. So if I'm going to focus on something, if I'm in the secondary, which I think is a strength for Nebraska, I still think it's a strength. They're not the biggest of fellows out there, okay, but they're strong. They got out muscled a couple times by Michigan receivers. And we can all bitch and piss and moan about holds. They didn't call it, so it didn't fucking happen. So let's get rid of that one. They not getting off blocks. Then when they did get off blocks, they made nice plays the majority of the time. In crucial situations, we got off blocks, and then we would get up and we would miss a tackle. And our angle wasn't good. We didn't drive our feet through the tackle. That worst case scenario, that I just ushered them out of bounds. We shot a shot maybe that wasn't there. We went a little bit low when we should have just went a high hip. We were trying to get an ankle and we missed. And Michigan was able to get a first down, get other things that happen in the game. So the defensive line had flashes of being really good. It's a tough set of dudes in there, but need more of them and need bigger ones of them to compete with what we were going against. Michigan by no means played a flawless game, but that's not our team. We don't have to worry about that. We can only play the opponent in front of us. But for us, like when you start to now internally focus and be like, okay, we lost, got it. We got to figure out how we just be the best form of Nebraska we can be. Okay. So here's our points of emphasis over these next 2 weeks. I know how our off weeks are structured. I'll try to figure out how their off weeks are structured. I'm sure they get a couple of days off. It's fine. Everybody does it different. But you got to get in and you got to get back to work, back in the lab. Okay. You're 3-1. Now you're hitting your conference season. Nobody ahead of you that you're going to play is a world beater. Some of them are not very good. Some of them are demons for you. I'm sure I've circled the Friday night game in Minnesota just for this sole reason. I need Nebraska to win the Minnesota game so my guy Jay Foreman doesn't have to deal with the bullshit from his buddies back home. So that one, you win that one. It's a little higher quality win than you had in a while. Nebraska is, I think Walter put in there, 0-29, the last chance against ranked opponents. So stats got to change, and that's when I think you really will see the next step being taken for Nebraska football when they're able to break that down and win against that ranked opponent. That's my view of what happened. Both special teams outside of the missed field goal. I thought special teams did a nice job. We had some touchbacks. Arch did his thing when we needed him. Got off some great punts. Nothing got blocked. Nothing got returned. If I look at stats here, kick returns. So we had one kick return for 23 yards. We averaged 7. Telling stats, it's kind of getting better. But Nebraska on punt return, this is not great by any means, but average 7 yards per return. Thankful to the 21-yard return that made it better. But Michigan punt returns, they averaged -1 yards. So our coverage was great. We made a ton of progress in that. That Zavada kid. The 49-year-old field goal, there was a guy standing next to me on the sidelines. He wasn't part of our group, but he was a nice guy. So we're standing there, and they did the FNBO, go kick the ball thing on the side, kick from the 20, make a 30-yard field goal, win $5,000. So I'm looking at the dude that's going to kick it. He looks pretty solid. Like he's taking some warm-ups. Like he looks all right. And then I look at him, the kid going to kick it. I was like, you got this? He goes, oh, yeah. I'm like, great. So I look at a little buddy standing next to me, and I was like, hey. So I got 20. This kid makes this. And this dude just turns around, looks at me, and goes, bet. I was like, yeah. I'm going to make $20 stand on the sidelines here. Kid gets out there, shanked, he hit it good. Pulled it left. Yeah, there's 20. So the Michigan dude comes out, 49-yard field goal. I'm never going to pick their kicker. So I looked at him and I was like, run it back. I was like, I think he misses it. The guy's like, bet. Shit. He kicked that motherfucker over the goddamn net from 49. He's like, yep, there's another 20. He's like, thanks for playing. Then he left. So I just couldn't even win my money back. But just trying to entertain myself on the sidelines. Just keep it lively down there. All right, start firing in those questions. We'll get to it. We'll discuss it. I'll probably have to be done here about 9:10. We did get a little late start, but that's because I got a late start. Was not moving very quickly today. It was a bit of a rough one, but shout out to the Butenbachs and the Sledges and the University of we ended up being able to kind of create our own tailgate party where the majority of us were all together, and we got after it pretty good before the game. There was a shot luge involved. I think I told you that. There were upwards of 500 plus Jello shots. There was beer, wine, and song, and it was a bunch of old guys together telling stories, having a good time. Walter says we were led to believe the defense was going to be much faster athletic than the pass rush D. We were lied to. I think they are faster and more athletic. I just think we don't have the plugs on the inside of the defensive line to really fully display that athleticism. I've said it many a times, like you offensive coordinators, like young aspiring offensive coordinators that are listening to this, all you want to do is create distrust at every level. Get a linebacker to not trust the back or the D lineman. Get the safety to not trust the linebacker. You get that done, you're going to be just fine. I think Nebraska, for phases of the game in and out, did that. For phases of the game, everybody trusted everybody, and we looked okay. We looked like we can hang. Like I said, with a lot of teams, we're going to play. So, flush it. You're the best. You're going to be the best version of this Nebraska football team you can be the rest of the way. And let those cards fall where they may. Recruiting starts to kick up. Had a shit ton of recruits in. For those that know the rules, I don't know if old heads like us can talk to the recruits, but I thought it would have been a hell of a thing to have the recruits come to our party on Friday night just to see how it can be, just to see that these are bonds that you will have forever. Even no matter what you're doing in life, we had CEOs of companies. We have guys that are hurt. We have guys that aren't doing quite as well. But when we're all together, we get plans laid. And the recruits and like, listen, you don't think this can happen here? It can happen here. And it's fun when it happens here. It's awesome. You could be a washed up has-been, never was. But then if you can run your mouth, people will listen to you on Sunday morning. And you'll have a good time doing it. But to intermingle those, I thought would be cool because I had the chance when I went down to practice to talk to a young man in Missouri, just a behemoth of a human being. He was asking me questions like, what was it like here? When you guys played, I was like, oh, buddy. I was like, if you think, like, don't get me wrong, like, you guys got NIL and you got all this stuff and it's great. It's really, really cool. I said, but to go into a town and you will be much more famous when you come here doing the forward sell than I ever will be. Okay. But I can still walk in this town. I can go into a business. And again, I was a backup. Like I played 31 games in my career. I will go in somewhere and they'll be like, hey, Burst, what's up? I'm like, nothing, man. How are you? I'm like, man, miss having you guys around. And so you can do that. It can happen here. And when it happens here, there's no place better in the world for it to happen. Because it's everybody. And it's a ton of fun. And he was laughing and smiling. I did also tell him, I was like, hey, by the way, just start yourself an LLC, have the university pay your LLC, and then you can run that as a business. And that way, when you get your car, you just write that whole sumbitch off. Free game for you, kid. But anyway, that would have been cool, I thought. And then we could have ushered ourselves out. Like we just like, hey, good to see you guys. I get it. We're boozing. You probably don't want the two to intermingle. But really, we didn't have anybody out of control. So it was just an idea. Like, we will help. We want to help in any way we can. Some of us think we can go down there and coach, and I am not one of them. Some of us need to realize we are not able to do that. But we all have an opinion. But yeah, so those were just kind of some things. As the talent continues to grow and those staffs get stronger, or those classes get stronger and stronger, that's when the defense will be, I think, fully what it is. Tim says, I think we learned that we are who we are, and we ain't that bad. Not champs, but getting there. It's a grind. It's just you have to grind in this. If we want this to be a sustainable, long-term, we are back in national relevance. They talk about us with the Ohio States and soon to be Miami's. That's probably why I went on my little rant about the former player stuff. Mario Cristobal was on McAfee and he was talking about, they're talking about all the guys that come back and it's great. And That's what it's supposed to be about. I think in that room of our party, there were 30 guys that had played in the league. Like you don't think that would be that would be a valuable asset to me. So you'd be like, oh man, I like it here, but I just don't know if this can get me to the league. I'm like, well, in this room right here, there's 30 dudes that played in the league for over 3 years, all vested in the pension. And that was when we were running option, like legit under center, fullback read option. Like if you come here and what they're building and what Campbell does in the weight room, what Rule does with your life, what their coaching staff does with the scheme, now you can go, right? Because you can be a part of this and you can get wherever you want to be from here. Because it's even after 20 years of less than mediocrity, the name still carries weight. It does. If there are no red jerseys on screen when the running back gets the line of scrimmage, is it still just missing a run fit? No, that is not, John. It is not. That is multiple things. It's game plan. Okay. So like I said, I was able, like during the game, to just kind of mutter under my breath, this is coming. Because I would watch how Michigan would get a line, subtle shift. Our adjustment to that wasn't quite enough. Like we would adjust, but there was more that needed to happen with the adjustment. And then the physicality came in. That's more of a Jimmy's and Joe's kind of thing. It wasn't missing a run fit. It's like it's hard to get to your run fit when you are getting like beaten on. Again, when starting to get driven, there's no shame in the game. Put your ass on the ground and take them with you. Make a pile. Because then instead of the running back creasing that thing, now he's got to bounce, and now you can rally to it. But yeah, that was not good. And it happened. There was a couple that happened where we made like good tackles. Or it could have been another one. I can't cover that, but we talked about that. Walter B. WBD3 says Michigan had 286 yards rushing, Nebraska 43, unacceptable. Agree. If we're going to go look at that, though, I mean, Nebraska has 308 passing, they had 105. So, I mean, does it go both ways? Like, maybe we're more throw heavy because we have to be. Or maybe that's what we look like. I'm with you 100%. If they can find a way to make that first drive look like every drive, now we become a problem. We become a big problem to people when we can control the line of scrimmage like we did on the first couple drives of the game. Like we are. And back to real quick, special teams. They were a shoestring tackle away too from probably taking one to the house. We caught it running south. On Michigan's kicking team, their right gunner had got washed inside. And I mean, the rest of it set up beautiful. Like the other blocks are ball you man, right? Ball is there. I'm here, block, like my defender or my attempted tackler is here. You are talking one shoelace tackle away from that thing going to the house. Now, if my aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle, but I try to find positive things and all that stuff. Dylan, as the rushing debate continues on to get at Walter a little bit, minus 49 yards for the sacks and all that stuff. Structure, technique, man. Techniques. Technical breakdowns that can't happen. Technical breakdowns that cannot happen in that game. Yeah, Johnny hit it. 7 sacks is unacceptable. When Dylan moves on, it's Uncle Don done too. Only time will tell. But in that, and you could see Dylan start to get frustrated with it. Okay. I think our leadership on the team is better than it has been. But in those moments, okay, it is okay for whomever your leader on the offensive line is, Lutovsky, Evans, whoever it is. You take the crew together and somebody's got to light their ass up. It cannot be a coach. Donnie will do that, and he does a good job of keeping them motivated. But sometimes your motivation has to be a peer-to-peer motivation. Like somebody that you respect has to come in there and light you up like a Christmas tree just to snap you out of what you're doing. Because what you're doing wasn't it. So now, the reason why I mentioned Dylan's frustration is it's probably even better if Dylan goes and lights them up. You light them up, and then you come back with the end result of it. If you can give me another second, I can get this ball off, but the pocket is collapsing on me. It's constricted. I'm going to get this thing tipped, possibly intercepted. We got to be better. Okay, so in the correction, you have the end game. This is the issue. If you can get your ass going and you give me this, we can do this. Okay. Then you probably follow it, and we got to start to run the fucking ball. Okay. How do we do it in the first quarter? If that linebacker is a lot less likely to blitz, that safety is a lot less likely to sneak down in the box. We got to get our shit together, basically, but get after them. Then tell them the end game and say, we can do this if you guys can get this figured out. And maybe they did. I didn't have a chance to watch on TV. Maybe if that did happen, let me know. But I didn't see any of that, right? And that's kind of what I want to see of that. Always just as it happens for a line, ladies will always go to the front of the line. Jamie says, we seem to blame coaches for our failures. Do you believe it is coaching or lack of execution on the players? Coaches are there to pass on information. Players are there to relay the information to the field. Okay. Jamie, I'm guessing you may be the wife of a coach. If I think I'm talking to who I'm talking to. Coaches are there to be the fall guy. You're there to shield. But there has to be a sense of accountability in the player. They have to go out there and know how to self-correct and get things fixed instantly. You're not taught to and I'm just going to keep it offensive line. You're not taught to open your hip directly to the sideline and then have your hands just get shuffled down the hip, and then you're trying to lean on them and it's not working. Okay. You're not taught to take a ginormous first step that gets you out of balance. And then when you're out of balance, then any movement from them gets you kind of out of whack. You're not taught at a defensive back position, hey, let that guy fully get into your body and walk you off the field. They have the tools to do what they need to do. The execution of it has to be better. It has to be better. So yes, Jamie, I'm with you 100%. Oh, okay, gotcha. So I had the wrong. But yeah, it's a good statement. Eventually, too, and I think it should be easier for us to be that critical of the player because now monies are involved. Does that make my view of it right? No. But your boss feels a certain way about you, and they'll pay because they're paying you money. This is my expectation of you because I am paying you money. American green cash money. So you've got to get your shit together. You can't do this. The other thing for me that they need to get better at is when it's not going well, try a different piece. Like, and I get it. You want to stay loyal and all that stuff. 7, 8 drives, my loyalty's probably going to run out. Drive 9 or 10, I'm going to try a different body and see if it's working better. That's for anybody on the field. That should be anyone on the field. We're going to try a piece. And if it looks different, guess what? That piece is going to stand there for a little bit. Until that piece starts to do what you were doing, then we'll put you back in. But yeah, that's how I would get after it. Our tight end reps leads to line up 2 tight ends, fullback, and run the wedge after we play for an entire series. Teach these guys that they can actually hit and move someone. I know the statement is over the top. I don't think you need to do that out of 2 tight, but you can do that. That will be the next thing that as Nebraska evolves through this season. Okay. I want to see physicality increase in the Michigan State game. Like, not in a hauled off in an ambulance way. But if bodies start to hit the floor in the game and the body doesn't want to get up from the opponent, from legal hits, from physical domination, that's what I'm looking for. Like, that's where I want to be the next phase of evolution of Nebraska football. To do that, you have to practice physically. I know it's probably not the best analogy because I know they, but they're still very relevant. But Georgia has Bloody Tuesday. And the goal is just we are going to beat the living shit out of each other in everything that we do because it will make us better. Iron sharpens iron for those that are on their way to church. I think it's a verse somewhere in the good book. But that physicality is the next phase. Like, I really want to see. And we have guys to do it. We have people that can be physical. It's just like cleaning up all technique. Like, instead of absorbing blocks on the defensive line at linebacker, whatever, shock that block. Like Doug Coleman, who I mentioned, it was great to see Doug. He's up in Ohio, and just a football coach. He's just an awesome dude. But those dudes, Kevin Steele's crew, even against us, if you want to get out there and try to get an angle on them and block them, you better be ready to get jarred. Now, different set of rules. I know we can get called for penalty. I'm not saying you have to do this. But there were more than one time in our Tuesday, Wednesday live, go balls to the wall practice where a linebacker would have my head snapped back this way because they were taught to jolt and jar you. And well, gosh darn it, my thumb or my hand just kept going up into your face mask and I'd shove your head backwards. Because your fat ass can't see me, it ain't going to stay with me. But, be violent. It's a violent game played by violent people, and it's awesome. It's the greatest release of anything in the world. Any problem in your life at that point in time, you go take out on any other opponent. You get done, you shake their hand at the end. It's great. It's the best stress reliever in the world. But be that way. Play it violently. You old guys that have been there for what seems like a decade, if you don't after I booze, my ears itch a lot. I don't know what that is. But, you can hit your teammate hard. And it's not that you dislike them. You're trying to make everybody better. Like, you're trying to get after it and become a better team. You want to be a better team, be a more physical team. You want to be a more physical team, practice physically. See what happens. Like, I hope they go full week of practice this week. I hope they full week of practice and bang. Everything's live. Everything's hitting. Everything's going full go. Then when you get back off your off week and you go play Michigan State and you walk onto the field as the most physical team, See how that goes. We might be dying. It might be catching up with me. I probably didn't help that I chewed like 4 cans of chew in 2 days either. So my vices. But yeah, do that. You know, physicality at the cornerback position. I think we're good in coverage. Very rarely do we break down in coverage. But now get it where if the homie wants to come out and try to get at you and block you and run you off the field, you got leverage. Pick his tall, skinny ass up, take him back where he came from. Right? Pick him back up and take him where he came from. I mean, it's very simple. But I would love to hear that. Like, I would love to hear and see, like, hey, we got after it. We ain't going to tell you we got after it. We're going to show you in 2 Saturdays how we got after it. Our goal is to have a different level of physicality for Nebraska football. This is now the expectation. Because guess what? You can get that in every Tuesday. Tuesday will happen every week. You will practice every Tuesday. You can make Tuesday a physical day. You can even get real crazy and make Wednesday a physical day too. Because I got some old ass sons of bitches that did it. And there weren't a lot of people that wanted to play with us. They did not like what we did. And it wasn't personal, it was just business. We loved doing business. It was fun. Fun. Holy shit, Ken. Where did that go? Did I erase that? Ken says, I had a heart attack a week ago Friday. My cardiologist told me no more Copenhagen. And it's been a long week and 2 days without it. But, well, we hope you're doing better. Like, shit. I think your doctor is just biased against Copenhagen. I don't know if that gives you a heart attack, but I'm not a doctor. Jamie said I was actually happy with the way my team fought back against adversity. You had mentioned Thursday that the O-line and D-line isn't quite where they're at, and I definitely saw that yesterday, but the guys fought. I think we learned a lot about our team, which is great. And a lot of the games, like as I look at the schedule and you're trying to just guess what you think they are or are not going to win, it is just that as a guess. But I feel a lot more comfortable in the guesses I was making and the demons we can exercise after watching that. That team right there, the only team that goes out and physically whoops their ass, potentially, is Penn State. Everybody else in there, you can go swing at that, and you can go win those games. Because there were a couple in there, I was like, man, it's a coin toss to me, but I'm going to say we lose the coin toss because I don't know what we are, and you can't know that until the season starts. Okay, and maybe Michigan is a world beater, but they're more physical than anybody we've played, and we didn't have any problems just trading blows. But now you got to get shit cleaned up. Like you have to get the minute cleaned up. Like your level of expectation now in practice should be nitpicky. Anywhere I've ever coached, my guys will tell you I will bitch about things that seem insignificant. And the lineman especially, like, hey, how big was your first step? I'm like, well, probably 8 inches a foot. Like, what the fuck's it supposed to be? Like 6 inches. Like, well, then let's do it 6 inches. Like, let's not fuck ourselves. Like, let's do this right every single time. If we do it right every single time, every single rep, take every single day, you've now got that ingrained into your muscle memory. I do think something that would help Nebraska and AT, Aaron Taylor, Outland Trophy winner in 97, we talked about it, is we like to edit things whilst in progress, okay? As I say that, it's like we get set, we motion, and then there's a chance to change it. It's the beauty why I love to teach the inside zone scheme, the old school gangster inside zone team. Those in the comments are give me duo bullshit, split zone. Fuck, I don't give a shit. It's all bullshit. Okay, inside zone is inside zone. Outside zone is outside zone. The reason I love it is because no matter what defense you come out in, I would say linemen have a rule. Okay. We're going to talk about inside zone. Okay. So inside zone, what we want to do, okay, is we just want to work in pairs. So we're just going to run the ball to the right side. Okay. So I got an end, I got a tackle, I got a nose, I got another end. Okay. Very simple. Linebacker setup. All right. That's the basic vanilla form of it. Just drop my lid. Okay. I've got guys now that are going to work in pairs. So we are running right. You are going to make the furthest guy run the furthest. Okay. So you can go here. You can go here. It does not matter where you line these guys up. If you want to bring in a tight end, probably like it even more. It's going to be fun. That guy will adjust out. That's fine. Okay. We're running the ball this way. We know his alignment dictates for us who's working together. Okay. So if we are here and here, where he's lined up right now, okay, if he slants out, no big deal. You take him, I will go get him. You knowing your rule, now I did cut shit out of my finger too. I don't know if you can see that. My favorite finger, though. Now you two are going to work together in a pair because you know where he's lined. His line for you dictates this. Say, okay, Versal, what if he lines up here? No big deal. My rule changes then. I have rules for this play. You can term these plays 87 different names, numbers, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Stays the same for them. No matter where they line up, they cannot be right. The beauty is in the simplicity, right? So we got pairs to everything, okay? If your quarterback is good, and now you can use backfield motion to hold him, okay? We're going to give it to him. So he's going to cut across. Ball gets stuck out. And you can do this from the I formation too. It's fine. But the ball gets stuck out. Well, you can freak his ass out if he just rolls that way. He's got to stay home. So now you're a non-factor. So now we got two guys against one. Anybody in the comments ever been in a fight? You got a lot better odds if it's you and your buddy fighting one guy than you fighting two guys, right? So now I got 2 against 1 everywhere. Next guy up there's a safety. Now this is where the read part of it comes in, but I don't give a shit about read. That guy flies fat, quarterback pulls it, away you go. Okay. But this is simple. It is very easy. No matter where you line up, we all have a counter to it. And we've taken thousands upon thousands of reps of this. So wherever you line up, we're going to make a call. We're going to be in lockstep. And guess what? Our fucking thinking time is over. We don't have to think anymore. This is for me a great way for Nebraska to attack things. They do it sometimes. They don't do it all the time. I'm not going to draw you outside zone because we don't have guys that can log it in by themselves. There's no need to just chuck that thing out. That simplicity, that's the beauty of that scheme. You can tell him to give it to him. You can run it and follow him. You can read this and fake this. So I've got now 3 plays right there, same blocking. Make life easy for linemen. Where you want to line up, dog? You're wrong. We got somebody who's going to come get your ass. Oh, you want to move out there further? Okay. You got him. We have a call. You take him on your own. I'll go get that guy. And now we just execute. There's no more thinking. Because it's like, we get it, and we move a bunch of guys around, and we get it. Okay, do this now. It's like, no. Teach them to do this. Teach them that where this lines up doesn't matter. Talk to each other. Aaron, God, it's great to see T. I need to see him more. And I hope his mother-in-law, Pat, is doing a lot better. She had a stroke as well. So, Pat, you got this shit. Let's go. He said T.O. doesn't get enough credit for being as revolutionary as he was. I'm like, okay, expand. And he was like, he was Chip Kelly before Chip Kelly. I said, you're to the 17 seconds. And he goes, it was 12. I'm like, no, it wasn't. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll meet you in the middle. We'll say it was 15. But our expectation of us was to run a play, get your fat asses back to the huddle, get the next play, which was already called, and run that play in 15 seconds. So instead of standing here, we had 2 extra 5-yard runs. And we averaged. Oh, Jay Foreman's calling. And we averaged that time. Fast football. No thinking football. I love this football. Any coaches, like little guy coaches that want to come out, I'll help you with this. And then watch how much fun your kids have. Hawks used to run this shit with Junior Skyhawks and Lance Brown and all those guys. They ran this. It's 2 steps, 2 against 1, and go. I love it. And now you really want to like dick with people. So say you run this, you can slide it back out. You can drag the tight end across. So now you got throwing compliments on it because this safety, if this starts to get 4 or 5 yards of pop, that safety gets antsy. So now he wants to get up in the action. Oh, forgot him. Eric Alford, may he rest in peace, wide open. Throw him the ball. Love you, EA. Love you, buddy. That was a shit part of the weekend here, and that had happened. But yeah, that's kind of my breakdown. Like I think at times too we get a little bit too much thinking going on still, and if we could just get that simplified and down to the brass tacks, install inside zone, run the shit out of it. I think Emmett will love it. I think it gives Dylan a unique opportunity. Also, you can get rid of this back too. You can put him over here. Oh, this one just came. This is a good one. Okay, so blocking is, oops. Okay, blocking is going to stay the same. Boom, boom. We're here, working to here. We're working to here. These 2 are working to here. Okay, you get this little guy. All right, so send him across. Don't give him the ball. And you just tell him to come in here and run a little out route. Where this, like, so he'll fight it. So now you got time. Then he'll come up the field. You ball fake this out of here. This dude will be standing there by himself. I'll tell you that for free. We used to do it. It's called 47 dive pass, 2 to lay flat. So everybody just like literally just went 1 man to the right. Sorry, 1 man to the left. And then our numbering system went from right to left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's how we numbered them. So the 2 would be on this side, but 2 to lay flat. He would just try to cross this guy's face, and then this guy would think he was a hero. He was running to get him, and he just sit out in the flat, just turn and run, be an athlete. I will get some of the fellows on, so don't worry about that. Exactly, Wes. Keep it simple, stupid. I'm eliminating all thinking, boys. This is our inside zone blocking scheme. We're going to call it 37 different things. You are running that scheme. You have to remember. You have to remember the rules. These rules. If you are covered, you stretch base. If you are uncovered, you stretch double. And watch your physicality increase because there's no thinking. Now there's just doing. Oh, love that scheme. Thank you, Milton, Dan, and T.O. for teaching that to all of us and being so strict and stringent on all the guidelines that it had to be. Love that son of a bitch. God, it's great. Not enough people use it. If you got like, I agree, Harry. I'm fine with the screenplay too. We got to get something to curtail rush. Like we no spider 2 white banana. We got to get something to curtail rush, and they don't respect our rush. Now, if you don't want to throw it to the back, that's fine. Michigan did it to us out in the flat. They had I don't mind using Lindemeyer. I don't mind using Harburg. Slide it, like do a middle, like even in the middle. We've gotten really good at retreating. When the pass rush comes, just retreat, back, dump that thing over the top. If you're going to do that, though, your linemen really have to comprehend, I have to pick off the remaining linebacker. Okay, because that linebacker has tight end responsibility or H-back responsibility or back responsibility. So your first thing, once that initial wave goes past you, I cannot miss a linebacker because now I have helped it become a potential turnover. So I have to be linebacker. I have to trust what I did was right. I cannot look back ever. I just got to look forward and find the nearest linebacker. That's something to get them off guard. You have to. Shit, tunnel screen. Like, I'm fine with that. But yeah, you are correct. They have to develop something in that. And I think Overson has them. He must not like the way they're practiced. So I'm with you. But hey, I appreciate you guys coming in. Jeff at Fine Line Painting, if you are watching, I'm still catching hell over here, bud. So if we get, I told Jeff, we're going to put your logo right here. Just paint my wall with my dry erase marker paint. We'll get her going. But we did not win. And the sun came up today. Was a little hazy and groggy, but that's the way it goes. Suck it up, play, Batty. But always love hanging out with you guys. I thank you so much for your time and let me ramble here on this and get some stuff done. But even in a loss, I feel better about the direction that we're going. I really do. I hope they practice physical as hell these next 2 weeks. And I hope we take it out of Michigan State. I hope we go out and physically dominate that. If we flip that running yardage around where we have a balanced game where we rush for $180 and we throw for $180, good enough for government. But let's get that mentality back, fellas. Like, let's get that badass ass kicker mentality. If you ever wondered the collective number of plays that some of the better players thought they could play, if they were playing today, right now at their own height, weight, was one. They said, give me one play. I'll go in for one play. Have the ambulance at the end of the field and just call me off when we do. But have a great Sunday. Again, Husker Happy Hour. I will get that out before the Michigan State game. It's going to have to be early because I am going to the UNI game to watch my guy Blake Anderson, who played for me at Scott. It's his super duper senior season, so I'm going to go watch him play a game at homecoming. And then Husker Hangover maybe later after the Michigan State game. It might be a Husker Hangover nightcap type of thing. So I will keep you posted on that. Please look at all the socials, and that's how I will let you guys know. I'll put it on my own personal social too. That might be a night broadcast. So have a great Sunday, guys. I love you. Thank you for playing along, and thanks for the great questions and comments. We're closer than we've been in years. Just sucks we're not there yet, but keep fucking grinding and we'll get her done. Have a great Sunday. Thank you for joining me on Husker Hangover.